Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome. Thanks so much for taking time out of your busy day during a busy time of year to join us today. My name is Sandy Elson, and on behalf of the travel professional community and travelprofessionalnews.com, I want to welcome all of you to today's webinar. We have a really exciting and helpful presentation for you today, hosted by Passport Online. Passport Online is the industry leader in delivering comprehensive digital marketing solutions to travel agents. This includes websites, email marketing tools, and social media programs, all geared to work for and with the travel agent community. Our speaker today is Amanda Cabeceres, Social Media, Business Development, and Marketing Coordinator for Passport Online. Amanda's topic today is digital marketing in the travel industry, and she's going to specialize on social media, an introduction to social media reporting and analytics, and that's a really interesting topic. Before we get started, a reminder that we welcome your questions. You can type in your questions at any time in the question area you see on the right-hand panel of your screen. When Amanda is finished with her presentation, we'll get to as many questions as we can. So let's get started with all this great information. Welcome, Amanda.
Thank you so much for having us. We are so excited to be here today, of course. So we have been kind of having a series of webinars where we've been talking a lot about digital marketing and digital marketing within the travel industry. It's such a big topic that I felt like it was really important to kind of break it out and start to kind of talk about some of the individual pieces. And so there's no better time to talk about social media reporting and analytics and kind of how that fits into your digital marketing plan. But as the year is ending, it's a really great time to kind of take a look at how to see how you've done and reflect upon that a little bit. One of the things that we find really often is that the reporting and analytics that are available on social media platforms are so helpful, and it's such rich content, but it can be a little bit hard to navigate and it can feel a little bit overwhelming. So my goal in this is to kind of show you where these tools lie, how to find them, and kind of what you're looking at. And then we're also going to share some tips on how to help increase your engagement and things like that, because that is kind of the goal with social media marketing. So with that, you already know how important social media is to your business, and you've been working hard at it all year, but do you really know how successful you were? Do you know where to look? And those are kind of the questions we're going to take a look at today. And so we're going to take a look at the world of social media reporting to kind of help make sense of your numbers and hopefully translate them into some insightful retrospective. So, and like I said, we're also going to share some tactics to improve and share the incredible success of our social media posting service that we had this year and how it can maybe help you conquer social media in 2019. So with that said, I'm going to tell you a little bit about ESP My Passport Online, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about this in the beginning of the webinar. Normally we try to share these helpful products at the end, but I thought it was important to mention in the beginning because what we're talking about today is engagement and is analytics and social media. So we have this product, ESP My Passport Online. It's a social media posting service developed exclusively for travel agents. So what it does is it's an automated posting service that posts directly to your business Facebook page. Fun travel-related content curated by our social media experts. The posts are queued into your dashboard for you to review. They're posted at the perfect time each day. We get all of the data that I'll share with you in just a second to kind of figure out the perfect time of day for you. So some of the stuff that we're going to be looking at today as far as analytics, we take out a little bit of that work and make it a little bit more simple. And then the posts are created with the purpose of driving traffic to you. So here are just some examples of some of my our recent posts that have performed really well to give you an idea of what these posts look like. And we have a team in-house that creates these. So what I wanted to share this for is, since we're going to be talking about reporting, I wanted to share some of our statistics. So far in 2018, you can see ESP posts have been liked over 400,000 times. They've received over 100,000 comments. They've been shared over 53,000 times. They've had over 42 million views. And every single day they reach 1.1 million Facebook fans. And we've taken all of the data that we've learned, which is basically the data that we're going to be showing today, to kind of take that and create a better plan to increase our engagement, which is what we'll be looking at today. And so you can see we've increased in every category across the board. So our likes, comments, shares, clicks, the agencies we post to, and then the number of fans we reach have increased an incredible amount just through this posting service that we have. So I just wanted to share this with you. So as we're going through this webinar and we're talking about analytics and you're trying to figure out, you're looking at your analytics and you're trying to think about how you can get better or improve, consider a product like ESP that's a posting service for you, because we kind of do that heavy lifting. There's other products that are similar, but this is a really good one because it lives in the travel space. So get that out of the way in the beginning, and we will jump right into talking about some social media analytics. So like I said, social media is a powerful tool to connect your business to your audience. And with that, social media analytics can really help you better understand how people are interacting with your brand and how they access and interact with your website. So without analytics, you're kind of just posting into a black hole. And, you're putting all of this effort into your posting, and it's basically like shooting into outer space and not really understanding, are people liking it? Is this helping me? What is my work doing? So businesses really need social media analytics. Posting without understanding who your audience is or what type of content they like is, I've heard it being compared to driving in the dark without headlights. It's unnecessary and basically dangerous, and it can be harmful to your brand. So like I said, businesses need social media analytics. They help you develop a better understanding of how people are interacting with your brand, how they're interacting with your content, and then how they're also finding you, and then even more importantly, what they say about you in the online community. So today we're going to cover Facebook analytics, Instagram, Twitter, and Pinterest. And so basically the easiest way for us to do this is I'm actually going to go live into the internal side of our social media profiles to kind of just do a walkthrough and a tour of exactly where this information is. But before we do that, it's important to get on the same page and kind of touch on some of the key terms that we'll be talking about or that you'll be finding. So you can find lists of hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of key terms. The three that are probably the most important to consider as we're talking about social media are going to be impressions, reach, and engagement. So I wanted to take some time to highlight these because I think that these get used a lot and they can be really confusing. So impressions are the number of times your content is displayed. So every time your post is displayed online, it counts as an impression. This is a social media measurement basic. It's used across every social media platform. And basically, the more times your content is displayed, the more likely people are to see it, to interact with it, which is something we're all working towards. So impressions are confusing because it is similar to reach, but it's not the same thing. So I'm going to talk about reach a little bit, and then we'll go back to impressions, and I think it should make a little bit more sense. So reach is the amount of people that your content can potentially be seen by. So this is what's different. So impressions is the amount of time your content is displaying, and then reach considers the potential. So it's the amount of people that could see your content, but it doesn't necessarily mean that they're seeing it. So reach tells you the number of people's accounts that your content has appeared to, where impressions tell you the total amount of times your content was displayed. So reach tells you the total amount of people it displayed to. For example, if you have 3 impressions, they could all come from the same person. So basically, your content was displayed 3 times, and I saw it, me, 3 times. And so the reach would only be 1. So reach counts for the person, and then impressions are the amount of times that was seen in general. So your impressions should generally be higher than your reach. It can also be the same. So it also isn't the same as a unique user, as a user can be counted on multiple days for reach. It will still only be 1 user. And reach is a better metric than impressions, just in general, because that's the number of people versus the number of times. If that kind of makes sense, a little bit fuzzy still, but I think it'll make a little bit more sense as we go along. The final key term is engagement. So engagement is really the most important one, because people can be seeing your content, but what you really want is them to interact with it. So engagement covers the number of users that have actually interacted with your content. The more engagement you have, the more people are liking, sharing, and commenting on your content. And really, no matter which platform you use, engagement will always be one of the most important indicators of your success. And that's because having engaging content keeps your audience happy and improves its chances of going viral. So basically, as you're scrolling along Facebook, and let me just pull my Facebook page over here to give you an example. So everything that's displaying here is that I'm viewing right now, right? So it's on my page, I'm viewing it, I'm just kind of cruising by. That counts as an engagement right there. So that was an impression. So that was an impression. It had the chance to be seen by me, and I did see it. Where if I was liking, commenting, or sharing any of those posts that I just scrolled by quickly, that would be something that would count towards engagement. So we're going to get into Facebook since I have that up. Facebook Insights. So basically, Facebook is really cool because it has really inclusive insights for you. And these insights allow you to measure the performance of your business page. So that is an important thing to note. Facebook does require you to have a business page, so you can't see any insights on a personal page. Facebook basically tracks likes, views, reach. Those are the most important ones that I would say if you're kind of just getting used to this, pay attention to those, but it does track a lot more than that. And then this really allows you to understand who's your most engaged audience is. And then it also helps you put the right content in front of the right audience. So let's figure out where to find this. So to get started, let me see if I can get both of these up so you can see. Perfect. So to get started, go to your brands page and click on Insights. So my brands page is going to be over here probably. It also could be up here under my pages. So I'm going to go to my brands page, and then I'm going to click Insights right up top. So one thing to notice on Facebook is that these pages do take a little bit of time to load, and that's because you're actually connecting directly to the Facebook API, and this is all live information. So once you click on Insights, you're going to enter into your page summary, and that looks a bit like this. This will be your overview. So the overview kind of gives you the big picture of everything that happened in the last 7 days. You can track it to just today, yesterday, and the last 28 days. But this kind of breaks down everything. So this tells you the actions on your page, if there were any. We don't have sufficient data for that. All of your page views, page previews, likes, reach, recommendations, engagement, videos, followers. And what's really cool about this is that this has actually gotten a lot better. So if you actually hover over this info icon right here, it gives you a pretty short, succinct description of exactly what you're looking at. So if you're kind of confused, this actually gives you a lot of the information. So one thing I would say to you, I think a lot of people are intimidated to go into these kind of insight pages and start clicking around. You're not going to break anything, and you're not going to hurt anything. So just, I would suggest go in and start clicking around and seeing what you can find. So what we're going to focus on, just kind of the basics, are going to be likes, reach, and engagement. So this overview that we're looking at gives just kind of a basic snapshot here. So we've got our likes and then our engagement here. So likes are how many people liked your page over the past 7 days. So we've gotten 7 new page likes. Reach is going to be how many people saw the content you posted over the last 7 days, and then engagement again is how many people liked, shared, or commented. So this is just a snapshot of the past 7 days, but what you can actually do is you can, from here, you can click these titles. Also, you have this menu over here that you can use. So let's go into likes just to see what this looks like. So again, likes is going to tell me who is liking my page. And so These are, how when you're following a business page, you're liking the page. So we have 2,000 people about that have liked our page. This tells you kind of how this has increased over the past month, I believe, is what we're working in right now. Yeah, so since November 6th, 2018 is what I'm trying to say. So over the past 30 days, this tells you where your likes are coming from. So you've got the organic likes, the paid likes, and then an important feature is who is unliking your page. Again, if there's anything that's confusing, they have a little bit of information over here. So paid likes are occurring when somebody has liked your page after seeing an ad versus organic likes, they're finding it in a different way. And this also tells you a little bit of information, so where this happens. So where are these people coming from? These, so they can either search for you, they're on your page already, page suggestions, they found you organically in their news feed. So again, you can hover over these and it tells you a bit of information. So you can kind of look over this. If you're doing a lot of work on your Facebook page, these numbers will probably be larger. So it's just really great to see kind of where these peaks and valleys are. So you can see for a year, you can see for just a week, any amount of time that you would like to see, you can just make it change and kind of grow. So this is really cool and lots of information available. So I'm just going to show you reach and then engagement, just because we talked about those, and show you kind of what information and insights you can get from here. We are going to spend the most time digging into Facebook just because I feel like it's the most common and where you're going to get the most kind of meaningful information. For the other platforms, I'm just going to give you kind of a brief overview and show you where to find the stuff and what you're looking at. So again, so post reach, the way that we are defining it is how many people saw the content you posted over the last 7 days. And again, up top, I can change the dates if I would like to do that. We can get just a smaller window of time. So post reach, these are the people that are seeing our post organically or paid. So we haven't run any ads or done any paid boosts or anything. So people are only going to be seeing our content organically. So we had a post on the 28th of November, and you can see that we reached 238 people with that. So again, the number of people who had any posts from their page enter their screen. And that was, again, as we were scrolling through, they were able to see it. So you can see here recommendations. It's kind of a newer feature of Facebook over the last year or so, allows people to do a recommendation. You ask for a recommendation. Does anybody know of a Christmas tree farm in the area? Something like that. Again, likes, comments, and shares. This tells you how many you are getting on different days. This tells you reactions, comments, shares. So reactions is likes. And then if anybody is choosing to hide your posts, which does happen, but that's important to kind of see. So I would go and look back on this day and see maybe what we had done and see if we could figure out why. And then again, reach shows you the total reach there. So finally, we're going to look at engagement. I'm going to go back to the overview and see our engagement here. So our post engagement, you can see we're up 405% compared to the last week. And so this will show you, this is kind of what's really cool. I think that engagement should be the page that you spend the most time on. And so I'm going to show you a little bit what we're looking at here. So basically, this tells you when your fans are online. So this kind of tells us across the board, our fans are online pretty consistently every day, so that's good. And then this shows you the time. So our peaks are kind of 6 o'clock in the morning, the most number of our fans are online, and then 6 p.m.-ish at night. So if we were going to do a post, those would be the best time to do our posts because that's when we have the best chance of reaching our audience. So that's kind of a question that we get really often, and it's not for your individual page, it's information that you already have available. So go in and look at this and see under your engagement, which is also under posts here, when people are online. And then this also shows you the posts that were recently published and how they did. So This one we reached 340 people. We shared it with everybody. So that's important to know. It was a photo. And then this tells us what our engagement is. So we had 36, and those were likes, comments, and shares. So just some information that you have available. Post types. This shows you if your photos are doing really well, if you had a video, different things like that. And then top posts from pages that you've watched. That was a mouthful. This will show you different, if you were following pages, which I can show you under your overview, you can follow pages that are similar to you. And so you can see here, and so you can see how you kind of stack up against other pages that are kind of like you. And then that would show you how their posts are performing as well. So if you really wanted to kind of get into social media, all of that is available for you there. A couple other things that we'll just kind of touch on. Followers, this gives you some analytics on the demographic of the people that are following you. You can see that. And then again, page views, previews, actions on page. These are people that are clicking your, they're getting directions, website clicks, phone numbers, your action button clicks. That would be like the call now, contact us, something like that. So you can kind of play around with all of these. You can see that we have some room for improvement in this category. We're kind of flat across the board, but you know, there's no such thing as kind of bad data, because if you're looking at it, it's a place to start. So keep that in mind. And now, so that is it, kind of the basic overview for Facebook. So we are going to jump into Instagram. So Instagram allows you to measure the performance of your business page. So again, just like Facebook, you have to have your Instagram page set up as a business page. The analytics are not quite as in-depth as the Facebook analytics, but there is quite a bit you can learn still. Basically, it's going to track likes, comments, and clicks, and then also give you information on your audience. And then again, just available for a business profile. But what's cool about Instagram is that if you have your profile set up as a personal page, you can actually just turn it into a business page. So Facebook used to allow you to do that, but it doesn't anymore. But on Instagram, you still can. So, and it's only available on a mobile device. So because of that, we're actually just going to go through some screen grabs really quickly. So to get started, when viewing your homepage on your mobile device, and this is only on a business page, you'll see a black graph symbol on the top right-hand corner, and you'll click on that, and you're going to be taken into Instagram Insights. So it'll be right here. Click this, it'll take you into Insights. And then this consists of 3 main sections. So activity, and this will show you key stats on how your profile is performing on Instagram. Content, this will give you all the information about how specific posts are performing. So it'll be similar to Facebook in that sense. It'll break it down post by post. It'll also have analytics on your stories, live video, different things like that, making it easier to see which posts are getting the most engagement. And then finally, the audience section allows you to see which cities and countries are giving you the most followers, and then really breaks down your demographic, you know, to age, the percentage of men and women, different things like that. So quickly, I'll show you what this looks like. So after you click into that little graph symbol, you'll see these 3 tabs here. So audience, you can see the breakdown here, the men-women pie here, the age range, all you can break that down a little bit more between men and women. Your activity, so your profile visits, website clicks, if people are clicking the link you have at the top of your profile, and then again, how they're interacting with the page in different ways. And then I don't have a screenshot of the content tab, but that would basically look just like this, but it would have little blocks that were the images of your posts. So again, if you have your Instagram set up as a business page, just kind of click into that little graph symbol and then toggle between these 3 tabs, and that'll give you just kind of an overall snapshot. So again, it's not as in-depth as Facebook, and there's not as much kind of interaction that you can do with it, but it does still give you a nice little screenshot of what is going on. So we're going to move into Twitter. So Twitter Analytics opens, so it gives you a 28-day summary structure, And from here, you can check your tweet impressions, profile visits, mentions, and then the number of followers you have in your account. So Twitter, I think, it doesn't give the most information, again, compared to Facebook, but it breaks it down in a really simple way. So that's kind of cool as well. If you're just getting started into Twitter, this is a good place to kind of spend some time. So Twitter allows you to easily measure the performance of your Twitter page. Twitter does not have business and personal pages, so the analytics are available to everybody. And like I said, you can track tweet impressions, profile visits, mentions, and your number of followers. So we will go live again to kind of walk through this together. So to get started, select Analytics from the drop-down menu. So you should have an icon like this on your page, and that's kind of your navigation button. So I'm going to select Analytics. And then this will bring me, again, into my kind of overview. That's kind of the trend. It's a 28-day summary that gives you a month-to-month overview for your tweets. So basically, I'm going to open this a little bit bigger so you can see everything. So it breaks down the months in blocks this way. So here's December, November, October. You can see my impressions, 106. I had 53 visits. I got a new follower. August, we lost some followers. So you can kind of see this information here. It gives you some information on your top follower. And you can see month to month that way. So once you're in your analytics, you can toggle between tweets, audiences, events, and more. So tweets, we'll click on that so you can see what this looks like. Your tweet activity dashboard is where you're going to find metrics for every single one of your tweets. So we are not very active on Twitter, I will admit that. So these are not going to be the most interesting bits of data. But you'll know exactly how many times Twitter users have seen, retweeted, liked, and replied to each tweet. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to change this to some time when we have some tweets so you can see here. So this 30-day period in August, we got 242 impressions. This breaks it down on a day-to-day. So again here, and then you can see what they're engaging on. So impressions, again, it kind of gives you that little summary. So if you're in here and you're not really sure, engagements, engagement rates, and then it breaks it down here. So like I said, so it doesn't give you the most information, but it does make it really simple. So they do a really nice job of laying this out so you can kind of understand what you're looking at. So it tells you right here, during this 31-day period, you earned 8 impressions. It shows you what your engagement rate is, if you had any links when they were clicked, if you were retweeted, likes, and then if anybody replied. The next piece is going to be your audience. So this is kind of cool. So your audience dashboard contains information about the people that follow you. So it gives you information that allows you to track your follower growth over time and then learn more about your followers' interests and demographics. So this is something that they do that's not as available on the other platforms, but it's kind of cool. So we clicked on audiences and now we are looking at our followers. So you can see kind of daily here how many followers we have. So if you're working on growing, that would be something that you would probably want to track on a daily basis, weekly basis. It can tell us. So my current follower audience is 493, and that's one less than the same time 30 days ago. So that's kind of cool. I like Twitter because it just really spells it out for you. So it's really simple, and so it shows me the interest. So on Twitter, you can kind of follow interests. So it shows me what our audience is interested in. So right here, out of our 493 people, so what I'm looking at right here, 100% of those people are also interested in dogs. So that's kind of interesting and kind of a funny piece of information. They're interested in tech news, which makes sense for a technology company. weather, music festivals, travel, things like that. So you can see all of that. I like this little dog piece of information. Those are my people. It also shows you the countries that they're coming from and then breaks it down by the specific region. So again, male or female, different things like that. So you also, kind of cool if you're just interested, you can see the same demographics for all Twitter users. So you can see what people are interested in. So this would be kind of important because if you're trying to grow, this kind of shows you what is everyone on Twitter like. So you can kind of gear your plan to reach more people on Twitter. So you can kind of see the overview. Again, dogs are super popular on Twitter. You can see the different demographics, the occupation, home value, net worth, household income, marital status, lifestyle. This breaks down their interests again, what they're into, consumer behavior. So what are their buying styles? So a lot of information Twitter has on their followers. This tells you where they're coming from, different things like that. So this would just give you some information to kind of help grow your followers on Twitter or kind of put the information in front of them that they were looking for. So finally, I'm going to touch on Pinterest just because we get asked about it a lot. And, Pinterest is interesting because it's not the most common social media platform, but strangely enough, they actually have some of the best analytics and user-friendly dashboards, so it's kind of worth mentioning. Pinterest Insights, again, allow you to see what people pin from your profiles. So you can see what people are liking that you've posted to your Pinterest page. It allows you to see what your audience enjoys to pin outside of your own content. So similar to Twitter, lets you see what people are into outside of your page. And then it allows you to track your best performing pins of all time. So kind of similar to everything else, you can see what's the most popular. And then again, you must have a business account. So to get started on Pinterest, let me come over here one more time. So to get started, we are going to, so I'm in a business page. If I were on my personal page, I wouldn't have the same kind of menu bar up top. But to get started, I'm going to select analytics from my drop-down menu. And then these are the different things I can look at. So I can get an overview, profile, the people you reach, which would be your audience, website, and then more information on the audience. And this is a new feature that they have. So we'll just kind of walk through these just like we've done on the other pages. So overview, this gives you a tab, this overview tab is kind of gives you like a snapshot of the segments of information Pinterest is capturing. So it is going to be the same as kind of the overview tabs that we've seen on the others. You can kind of get the idea. So your dashboard or your overview tab kind of gives you the highlight reel from all the other categories and then lets you dig into each of these categories even further. So your overview tab lets you see all of that, and then you can see your profile, and then these insights take a look at the pins you create directly in your profile, the people you reach, insights on who you are reaching, and this is demographic and interests, and then activity from your website. So if you had it set up on your website that allowed people to pin directly from that, you can kind of see what they're doing there. So all the pins that, in addition, the pins that link back to your website. So if somebody saw a beautiful picture on your website and chose to pin that, you can track this here. So it gives you all that information. So let me just dig into these a little bit. So your Pinterest profile, this shows you the impressions. So again, it's broken down really easily. The top 10 impressions from the last 30 days. So your impressions that you got here, if there's any clicks, saves, the pin type, and then boards that were pinning your pins as well. And you can see if it was saved, clicked, and things like that. Analytics, people you reach. So this is how many average monthly viewers you have on your, people who act on your pins, the average monthly viewers of that. And if anybody is engaging, you can kind of change your timeline, just like everything else will allow you to do, which is really neat. And then your website, again, this is pins from your website. This shows you what people are pinning, what they're clicking on, things like that. And then if anybody's pinning something from our website and saving it on theirs, we can find that information here. And then finally, Audience Insights. This is the newer feature. This shows you the people that are following you, what they are into. So really similar to Twitter. So the people that are following us are into design, travel, quotes, architecture, education, entertainment, all of these kind of make sense. And then it shows you kind of a breakdown of that a little bit more. So design, specifically business and advertising design, travel, and this shows you the breakdown of that. So this gives you so much information, and it's really cool. This would actually be kind of a cool place to just see what people that interact with you, kind of what they're into, which would help you build a plan to kind of gear towards that. So this, you can see this breakdown happens for each of these categories. So like I said, Pinterest is not the most popular or more highly used platform, but it's got really great analytics, so it is worth showing off. So those are the 4 social media platforms that I wanted to touch on. So what do you do now? So once you have a good understanding of the data provided by your social media analytics, here's a couple of things you can do to kind of help improve upon that. So check back often, pay attention to patterns, find a time that you can always be going in and looking at these analytics, like, make a post on Facebook, check your analytics that day, check them 7 days out, and then check them 30 days out. See what's happening. Check back often, pay attention to patterns, see what's happening. If you notice that if you post in the morning, you get a ton of engagement, that's something worth noting, and that kind of helps you shape your plan. In addition to the analytics that are available within these, there's a lot of free apps that are available to download that kind of even further calculate and crunch these numbers for you. There's a lot of Facebook page managers. There's a lot of Instagram analytics. I know Hootsuite has some really good ones. So download some free apps if you're looking to kind of streamline this a little bit more, put all your analytics into one place. Once you have some analytics on your audience, try doing some targeted content where you're targeting your content to a specific audience a little bit more. And then also, I've said this 1,000 times, make sure that you've updated all of your relevant information. Make sure people can contact you. Make sure your phone number is correct. Make sure your website's correct. All of that, make sure it's correct across the board. And then finally, schedule your posts for when you know your audience will be online. So begin kind of tailoring that content to your audience. So I wanted to remind you that we have ESP available, which is our social media posting tool that posts to your business Facebook page, and then you're allowed to share that content across all of your social media platforms as well. So we are putting in the work and really digging into our analytics that we get back on these posts, and we have a whole team of people dedicated to improving engagement in this. So if you're kind of feeling like, man, this seems like a lot of work, try a tool like ESP that's doing that heavy lifting, like I said. So ESP, you get 3 posts per day, 7 days per week, and we load them every Friday for through the following Sunday. So you can go in once a week and kind of preview all the posts ahead of time. We do have an upgraded advanced delivery feature that's an additional $5 per month that would allow you to edit any of those posts ahead of time, adjust your schedule, do a little bit more tailoring if you wanted to do that. Anybody that signs up from this webinar today, we are actually going to waive the cost of the upgrade. So you can have that additional $5 feature for free. So it would just be $20 a month, and you would get ESP and the advanced delivery feature for just $20. So just wanted to throw that out there. But that is all I have for you. Hopefully you guys have a couple questions. If you want to sign up for ESP or you have any questions on any of this, please feel free to reach out to us at Passport Online here, and anybody would be happy to chat with you about that.
Well, thanks, Amanda. That was amazing information, very detailed and interesting. For our agents signed into the webinar, if you have questions, this is a good time to type them into the question box on the right-hand side of your screen. One of our agents wants to know, with all of the different analytics and different ways of slicing and dicing the information and the demographics, do you actually get information about the individual people who are engaging with your information so that you can respond to them, individually?
So yes and no. So if somebody is like liking or commenting on your post, you obviously would be able to see that, and you could go kind of do your own investigative work on those people. Just as kind of aggregate data, none of these platforms would actually tell you. So it wouldn't say you had 30 views and that was these 30 people, and that's kind of just a security thing that I think that these platforms have, kind of baked into their system. So unfortunately, it doesn't tell you if you've reached 300 people, it doesn't tell you who those 300 people are.
Okay, so you're getting general demographic, not general, it was quite detailed, but not specific
Yeah.
information about contact information, who those people are.
Yeah, I always kind of describe it as like aggregate data, so it's
Mhm.
kind of baseline about the individual.
Right. And we know that your individuals like dogs a lot, right?
They love dogs.
One of our agents wants to know a little more information about what type of posts are posted through ESP. Are they destination specific or certain deals, or what does that look like?
Yeah, so ESP posts are kind of, I'm trying to, let me pull up a page for you so you can see what they look like since I have Facebook up and I normally don't during these presentations. So the posts are always going to be kind of a mix of destination information. There's going to be a lot of engagement posts. And basically by that, we ask a lot of questions. So there's packing tips. This is just kind of our most recent. So here's some destination information on Cancun. There's a lot of quotes, things like that. We have a series of why use a travel advisor. There's a lot of posts like this, these would you rather posts where we ask, would you rather question about this information. Those actually get the most amount of engagement out of all of the posts. And then there are some supplier offers, but not a ton. But when they do come up, the call to action is back to you and your agency. So it's kind of where we're always directing people back. But we do try to have it not be too hard of a sell piece, but definitely integrate some of that in.
Okay, great. Thank you. And you said that on Sunday, the posts for the rest of the week are displayed. And so, can you clarify? Agents get a chance to preview the posts and say which ones they want to be posted to Facebook and which they don't. And if there are some that
Yeah,
they
so
don't, there are others they can choose instead.
let me show you actually what this looks like. So you would get access to your dashboard is what this is called. So this is mine. So it tells me that I have 17 pending posts. So basically, ESP is really great because it's meant for all users. So if you're a really kind of engaged user and you want to go in and you want to touch every single piece, you can do that. If you kind of just want to set it and forget it, which we have, I would say 70% of our users kind of set it and forget it and don't go in and preview the posts. There's no action required on your part, and the post will just post as you want it. So we do recognize that everybody, a lot of agencies have their specialties and things like that. So basically, these posts are meant to kind of appeal to everybody. If you do have a specialty, I feel like we get this question a lot. So I only do, weddings and honeymoons. So this would still work for you because we're featuring destinations that people would be going to for that. But we do recognize that there might be somewhere that you don't want to sell, perhaps. So you can actually go in, and these are all the posts that I have queued up. So if I take no action, all of these posts will go to my page at these designated times. What I can do, though, is I can go in and preview these posts, and I can see what it looks like. And if I decided I didn't want this post, I could actually just select this block here, and now this won't go to my page. So if you block a post, you don't actually get another post in its place. It doesn't totally work like that, but you would still get the 2 posts for the day, but you can also go in and unblock it. From here, you can also save the image and save the post. So if you did block it, you can still kind of keep the content if you wanted to do that. But then so that's kind of what I meant by blocking if you didn't want it on your page. And then that upgraded feature would allow you to actually go in and edit, and you can edit the caption. You could add in your website URL, your phone number, a link to a specific offer, anything like that. So this is kind of where your control panel would be, and you can go in and see all of those posts that are coming and decide if you wanted to opt out of any of them.
Okay, fantastic. And can you repeat the special offer you have for our agents today about that feature of being able to edit your posts?
Yeah, so ESP is $20 per month, and that gives you the 3 posts per day, 7 days per week. We have an advanced feature, which is $5 additional per month, and that would be what would allow you to go in and edit your posts before they post to your page. You can change the time, all sorts of kind of more advanced features like that. And like I said, that's $5 per month. But anybody who signs up for ESP today will waive that $5 and give you both ESP and ESP Advanced Delivery for just the $20 per month.
Okay, that's fantastic. And how would the agents on this call identify that they were part of this webinar?
Just let me know that you were on the webinar. It'd probably be me answering the phone,
Okay.
and we would be happy to do that. You can put our contact information here. You can give us a call. You can also just send an email to sales@passportonlineinc.com and say, I want to sign up for ESP, and we will get you all the information over right now. So the sign-up process for ESP is very short. It takes about 5 minutes to get everything set up and to get your profile all set up, and then it's still early enough in the day that you probably would still see a post this afternoon, and if not this afternoon, then you would be seeing your posting first thing tomorrow morning.
Okay, fabulous. We have one more question that has not been answered, and that is, can these ESP posts be posted to a personal Facebook page as well, or just a business Facebook page?
So how it works, we access your page as kind of a third-party app. So within the security and restrictions of Facebook, we can only post to a business Facebook page. You can take that content and share it to your personal page if you would like to. And if you signed up, we'd be happy to kind of show you how to do that and kind of tell you some things. So we have a lot of agents who do that. So you can share it to your business, it'll post to your business page. You can share it to your personal page. There's a way to set it up so that these posts will automatically link to your Twitter account, so there's no action required on your end there. I believe you can do the same thing with LinkedIn. And then for Instagram, so Instagram at this point does not allow kind of this automated posting. It actually will flag your account, and I've heard of people having their accounts removed, but you can save these posts and then post them to your Instagram as well. So once you have them, you can kind of reuse them on any of your social media platforms you would like.
Okay, that's fabulous. If you have any other questions, Amanda has put up her telephone information and email address, so feel free to get in touch with Amanda, and she will be happy to point you in the right direction. Our host today has been Passport Online, and our wonderful speaker is Amanda Cabeceras, Social Media, Business Development, and Marketing Coordinator for Passport Online. Amanda, as always, this has been fabulous. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having us. We always love to come and chat about social media, so thank you guys for joining us today.
And I'll add my thanks to our agents for joining us. We appreciate that you took time out of your day to be here. So enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.